This week on the Push for Legs podcast, the truth comes out, doesn't it?
Alright, cool. And 3, 2, 1. Got myself in trouble, Daniel.
Hey guys, welcome to the Push Pull Legs podcast with myself, Damik.
And me, bad boy, Tom Hall.
And hey mate, you are the bad boy of social media at the moment. Not in a good way, not even in a good way, definite actual bad, like not bad boys in like good bad boy, like just bad boy.
Just bad boy.
Oh dear, Tommy. Committed the cardinal sin.
Cardinal sin, didn't I? Of sharing content.
Upsetting a baby. Anyway, we'll get on to that, I suppose. No, it is serious. It is serious. We'll talk about the serious implications of it, but anyway, it's all fun and games, isn't it, Tom? It's all fun and games. It's what else are we going to do apart from talk about that? Is that going to be the whole thing? Is that going to be the whole podcast episode?
I'm not letting that. I'm not letting that go for the whole show. Fuck me, Jesus. 5 minutes maybe.
Okay, cool.
That's just to explain what I already vaguely explained. I could use my platform. Fuck it. Vaguely explain a little bit of a stretching of the truth, maybe. Acting without honor in a weird way, I guess. Yeah, I mean, I've already held my hands up and gone like, I'm sorry you misconstrued it, but yeah, wonderful. Considering it was from somebody I knew personally, so it was a little bit odd. Yeah, not like it's if I was to share Dan's content, but yeah.
Why would anyone share my content?
No, exactly. But yeah, we're all good. No, I guess we'll talk about like some other shit as well. I guess some people have probably realised that I'm not working with Third Space anymore. So, dum dum dum.
Why is that, Tom?
Yeah, basically because I'm another bad boy. I kicked my toys out the pram, much like about 10, 12 other coaches, amongst a cultural change that's been happening within the facility. And I didn't want to work in that culture anymore, unfortunately. Made the decision to not really perform, let's say, to what they wanted me to. They retrofitted something into some people's contracts, and I disagreed with this. And so I had 6 months worth of meetings, which is always fun. But yeah. But anyway, I'm no longer there. So I don't think I'm on garden. I think I'm still on gardener leave, but we're all good. I'm obviously still training my clients. But yeah, there's no ill meaning towards that. I don't really care. Obviously, we can talk about that as well. And obviously, we need to talk about I got a Whoop band. So.
Oh, God, cool. Here we go. Not going to the end of that, are we? No.
So Dan's got an aura ring, so we're like divide and conquer, Dan. That's like the two big ones, isn't there? And like the polar shit. So I couldn't have an aura because Dan's got one, because we're like that. You see, like Dan's got the same putter as me, so he's like, yeah, let's get the same stuff as Tom. I can't do it. I just have to get the opposite brand.
Well, I know it was the one I tried. I tried them all, and that was the best one, mate. It wasn't really like I had to get it because it was the same as you. It was just definitely to be the best one. You were like, he's such a nice friend, but you were just so drawn to that putter. Yeah. You're like, yeah, just had such a lovely 8-9 years of knowing me. You're like, yeah, gotta go towards that putter. That's the one. Or you'd seen me hole so many putts that have annoyed you. That's probably more likely what it was. It was actually more so along the lines of it was the cheapest blade putter they had in the shop, and I just thought, right, I'm not spending a fortune on a putter because I'm shit at putting.
Like that putter for me, I bought from Decathlon whilst I was just mucking around with it for like 90 quid.
That's how much it cost me, mate, 90 quid.
Yeah, exactly. Mate, it's held its value, so fuck it. Great putter.
Can't argue that.
And then I feel like we have to talk about just quite a lot of people put their input on children's chocolate bars or lunchtime bars. I feel like you must have an opinion on this. I don't know if you voted actually. I didn't look.
I saw you. I saw it. You talking about club biscuits.
club biscuits, mate, because I went and gave blood because I'm a bad boy. That's what bad boys do. They go give blood. And yeah, they have club biscuits most of the time in there. They're the only place I ever see them. Obviously, a supermarket probably have them, but not many of the supermarkets I know of. Do they have them in Dubai? Have club made it that far?
Nah, it's not regular. No, I don't see them regularly.
Isabel's deprived as a child, clearly, with her lunchbox.
She gets Oreos, mate. She's fine.
Oreos. Wow, that is like next gen, isn't it? Oreos instead of club biscuits. We were sitting there with penguins, clubs, wagon wheels, all that kind of stuff. So we'll go through. I'll send it to you. Obviously, from a trusted source, the Metro. There's some nostalgic kind of things you put in your lunchbox. I want to see what Dan had, see what kind of childhood he had, whether it was a classic nostalgic one. This is all definitely millennial stuff. I feel like we should just make the podcast around that. We'll be very short on my dramatic stuff, and then we'll go into the real content of Whoop.
Mate, people love drama. Let's not kind of cut that short, mate. Like, people love the drama.
Oh, mate, I'm just sick of fucking like people asking me about it, and I'm just like, fucking hell. All right. I just think we'll talk about this.
Right, let's talk about you getting fired first, because that's the most important bit, isn't it? So that's the funniest bit. But anyway, the thing I think I want to talk about this, because I think there's a lesson here for people as well. A little bit. So how much are we allowed to say? Oh, fuck it, I don't care. It's not my problem. It's not me who's in trouble, is it? It's you that's going to be in trouble if they're here. But anyway, essentially, right. So Tom was basically told he had to do a certain number of sessions a month, and Tom was like, I don't want to do that many sessions a month. I'm happy doing what I'm doing. That's fine. Like, I want to earn what I want to earn, right? So he's been set a target by a company, right, who are making him effectively, and because the way it works is you're kind of employed, but you're kind of also self-employed. It's kind of a weird model. So obviously, because you're employed technically by them, I suppose they are able to say, we need you to hit these targets, blah, 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 and they can obviously get rid of you if you don't hit them. Whereas if you're self-employed and you pay rent to a gym, they don't really give a shit. So Tom was obviously like doing what he was happy doing. And then he's told to do more sessions. You got to do more sessions. You got to open up more times in your diary, whatever it is, right? And Tom was like, don't want to. I've got all the other stuff for Combine. I've got all the other things I'm doing. Like, why would I want to do extra sessions? I'm happy doing what I'm doing. And I think the key thing here for people to remember is that Tom's clients that he had there were some of the highest paying clients in terms of like everything else they brought into the whole club, right? In terms of like monthly recurring revenue to the business, they brought in per person probably the highest amount of any trainer that they've got. But yet they still decided to go, Tom, we're going to get rid of you. And I just think it's really like important for people who are online coaches, PTs and stuff, to look at, again, short-sighted decisions and look at long-term things. So like, for example, for me, I look at it and go, how fucking stupid, because you've got a low maintenance guy who doesn't end up taking much more of your time. His clients are really happy. They spend loads of money in the club, and he's not doing anyone any harm, just let him be kind of thing, and letting clients bring the money in. But to try and get an extra 10 sessions a month out of him, they pissed him off, and then that's now gone. And I'm assuming it was about 10, 15 extra. It's probably not a lot, right? 10, 15 sessions a month.
It rounded out as 3 a week.
Yeah, why? Fuck me, 3 a week. What's the point of? So what's the point of upsetting the apple cart for that? And I think that it applies a lot to people when it comes to their own, again, their own coaching, their own things that they're doing. Is I think sometimes if you focus too much on short-term targets without actually looking at the bigger picture and stepping back, you miss some really important business things. Like I've seen people take on too many clients too soon, then their coaching service diminishes, and then they actually have less clients than in 3 or 4 months' time. And I'm not saying that's exactly the same example, but I think it's important that people realize, because obviously this podcast now is more about mine and Tom's experience, and obviously as we graduated through fitness and stuff like that, it's not so much about fitness anymore. It's more about what we're up to. But if you're a PT or coach, I think it's important you understand these things, and it's important you understand that you are far better off keeping clients happy who are paying higher amounts and doing more stuff. And if you're in a gym or you work in a gym, who are repeatedly seeing you and spending more money and stuff. It just baffles me that they made the decision that they couldn't see it. They were that steadfast in their like numbers exactly every single month, and it's very, very short-sighted in that they gave all that up.
Yeah, so just to complete clarity, like obviously they built like a lot of my career, right? So I've had some really cool times at at obviously the company.
Yeah.
But it's been since they got bought out one more time, right? So you probably left pretty much when they got bought out once, right? When a private equity firm called Encore bought them. You left around then, or a lot of people did. Because again, values slightly changed. They wanted to grow the brand, blah, blah, blah. I was like, it's fine. It's fine. I was in a decent position anyway, just cracked on, was able to still do stuff and still do outside stuff. And oh, Jesus Christ. Yeah. And then it's once another bigger kind of private equity firms bought again. And then they've gone, this is how we do everything now, blah, 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 blah. They were no longer about personalities or anything like that. So I think...
Are they just trying to flip it, do you think? They're just trying to boost the numbers up on paper to...
I don't know. That's the thing. Like, so I know, because I trained like some of the board members, right? So, and just to remember, when you do a good job, even if you leave a facility, the chances are your clients are your clients, no matter, they're not beholden to the gym. And let's say every single one of my clients has moved on from that gym and gone somewhere else, let's say, that has followed me. So just into a different facility and training elsewhere, right? So, and you've got to remember just the quality of service that's happening. It doesn't usually happen that every single one goes, which I'm going to hold a little event for all of them, because I was like, that's actually quite nice that everybody's decided to be like, no, we'll change our little what we've been doing like day to day, and we've had a good experience enough, and I've changed enough of their kind of quality to come with. Only one hasn't, but he's a board member, so that's absolutely fine. Like, he was like, honestly, would love to, but probably can't. I was like, I get you. It's probably okay. It wouldn't be a good state on your board member when you go using a PT that's outside, which is fine. So it's just and to like be totally honest, I relatively know business to a very small extent. So obviously I run my own. And so I outlined churn rate, retention rates, kind of what my price. I knew how much money my clients brought into the company on a monthly like revenue. I know how much they pay me month to month. It did not weigh up. And I was like, and I also know my like I guess churn through rate, my lead rate or whatever of like, what's it? Burn rate of leads or whatever. Like, I don't know.
No, churn, churn's right, mate.
Churn, whatever. So just to put that in perspective, my leads probably total of seeing a lot of people. The last person I would have taken on was just after COVID. Just after COVID, like lockdown, I think the last person I took on as a regular client. Okay, so that was the last lead I did in terms of took from like the sales team and blah, 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 not delved out. So I had incredibly low in terms of, I just didn't ask for leads because I was like, I've got clients that I have in slots and blah, blah, blah. These times are happy. So that was the kind of issue I had. I was like, without seeing like all the other stuff I did. So, and obviously I had a large input into education, and obviously Dan knows that, like some of your clients have gone through education with me, right? So it's just like, okay. And in fact, I think a couple of your clients probably have tried to join Third Space because they thought they might get a little bit of education from me as well. And I was like, yep, okay, so that's no longer going to happen. And I was just like, which is fine. It's just like, it's just moving on. And like the education's fine there. I think it's a great place in commercial gyms. I will 100% think that people should go cut their teeth in those commercial gyms. 1,000%. I wouldn't be in the position that I am now to walk out and go do some other stuff without that experience. Definitely not. I'm better for it. But yeah, I was probably sick of the place about 2 years ago. And Dan knows that. Like I've been like since COVID. That's why I explored doing loads of stuff with the PTC and doing other stuff and creating other businesses basically. And I was just like, all right, well, yeah. I was like, I've probably outgrown this place quite a lot by now. So, which is fine. And my clients knew that. So they were fully prepared to leave at the drop of the hat. So it was all right. So it took me like a week to ramp everything up, but it was all right. It was good. But yeah, it's an important point there, you mate. Yeah, it's just like short-sightedness, unfortunately, but not ever. And we know they're they're a medium-sized business, and they're trying to grow rapidly, right? So
interesting.
And fair play to them. They've got the best facilities. But unfortunately, I know the state of personal trainer education and personal trainers in London. I don't think there's enough trainers to fill the gyms at the moment at said quality that they want. That's my personal opinion. And they will have to slightly drop standards to bring people in, 100%. If they're able to educate them in-house, which they'll try to do, which is absolutely fine. Cool, crack on. But it will just lead to maybe, newer PTs getting involved in some premium clubs, which is cool. It's absolutely fine. But it's no longer the highest quality, which, let's say, when it was only 2 clubs, we were very easy to judge quality of coach and blah, 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 and all that kind of stuff, right? But yeah, mate, very interesting. So yeah, I'm still around like London, obviously. I'm at a couple of facilities at the moment. So yeah, and for the first time ever, guys, if you're actually in London, yes, you can come and have a session with me in a gym if you would like to.
Yeah, that's a huge benefit. I think
that's one of the things. And people have they've like literally hundreds of you. No, a few of you have asked over the years, right? Like, oh, can I come and pick your brains for an hour? Or like we do a session together, or you can take me through this and blah, blah, blah. Now, 100% yes. Crack on. Yeah. Like if obviously I have my rates, but if you're a podcast listener or you've been listening to my stuff and whatever, I'm absolutely fine to just like chill out and let's go do a session. Let's do it. So yeah, if you want a little one-to-one, all good. I know Dan would probably do the same thing if you're
as long as they don't post on Instagram what session you did that day.
It's all my content. Jesus Christ. Yeah. Do not
share. As long as they didn't do that, mate.
Anything. What a segue, Daniel. What a segue.
Oh, I'm good at it, mate. Don't you worry about that. I've got segues on lockdown. Yeah. But Tom also got in trouble this week because he posted a workout that he did, that he just did during the day. He just did it and he posted it on his Instagram, like everyone does on Instagram, goes, oh, hey, this is the workout I did today. Give it a go if you want. Only problem was that the person who Tom bought the program from and posted that one day of got a little bit annoyed about it. I say a little bit. I mean, I was saying it, just putting it nicely.
You're very annoyed. Fuck me.
Yes.
I think, and like you said before show, right? I think it weirdly has said more about him than me. I think.
Look. I think on first glance, you look at it and go, you might look at it and be like, oh, fucking hell, as if Tom's plagiarized someone's work and passed it off as his own. That would be that's probably the guy's initial thought. And like,
correct.
And like you said, when you look at it, when you look at it in the context of what it was, it is you following a program that you've paid for and posting your session that you did that day because that's what you did and you didn't have any content going out. And like everyone does, they posted, this is what I workout I did today. Give it a go if you want, kind of thing. And I think that the thing in my head, if that was me and you done that to me, and I knew you like the person knows you, I would sit there and go, that person knows I follow them. They're not stupid enough to post my workout on there in an attempt to sell more programs. Do you know what I mean? Like, because if you were doing that, you wouldn't post it publicly. You would hide that and you would just give it to your clients, for example, and you would be really, really like, you wouldn't put it out into the world. Like, again, just common sense, right? And look, we've talked about this previously on the show where I've had emails plagiarized before, like word for word. I've had content plagiarized word for word, like in terms of like the captions and all this sort of stuff, right? And that is done differently because that is someone making an attempt to better their perception in the world by posting a caption or an email that is word for word yours and it's your intellectual property and all this sort of stuff, right? But I've put it out for free, right? And I've done all that sort of stuff and whatever you think about that. But again, it's this whole thing of where do we draw the line then and go, well, for example, with my coach that I worked with, if I posted my workout that day and said, this is the workout I've done, give it a go, is that any different? Why is that any different? Is that any different? Do you know what I mean? And I think that it just shows a bit of a, I don't know, insecurity potentially, like a little bit of like, but it kind of blew up a little bit. Rather than it being a conversation, it's a full-blown attack. Yeah. Whereas, like I said to you before about the guy that sent me my email, I just replied to the email and went, really disappointed to see this. And he replied, I'm embarrassed and all this sort of stuff. If he'd have replied saying like, oh, I was just posting and telling people what I did that day, and it just happened to be the same thing you did, I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Yeah. It's completely, it's completely different in that regard. But like you said, all it needed to be was a conversation. And I think it would have been a very, very different outcome rather than potentially a little bit of insecurities like coming to the surface and you're like, whoa, okay. Like you didn't realize it would be so because again, just to finish at this point before you go on, because I'm sure you're gonna want to say stuff. It's like, and even down to the point where like if you posted the same workout that this person has given you as part of the plan and you've just done it that day, for you to also copy it word for word and give the exact exercise names the exact same. Do you know what I mean? Like obviously, if I was trying to copy you, I would change the names and make them. I would call them something slightly different. And like, do you know? Like, I just find it a bit like there's no common sense here, like in that element of it.
No, I mean, like, I straight away and was just like, what the fuck? Because obviously, I didn't think I'd done anything wrong at the time. And then I was like, fuck me, I've misread the room, which is fine. Like, I've just misread the lad's personality and misread what he was about. And obviously, me and Dan know James. And like, unfortunately, he has got some insecurities and he's flown off the handle before. And we know that about his work. Like, he doesn't like sharing, let's say. And literally before the show, Dan was like, you know him, like.
So my reaction to it was like, so as a friend, my reaction to it to Tom was, you're a fucking idiot because you know what he's like. Yeah. If it was anyone else, it wouldn't have been a problem. But it's that whole thing of like, if people are a bit like secretive of their work and they think they've got the magic, and it's like in reality, all we're all doing here is making people stronger, quicker, all this sort of stuff. And there's nothing really new coming out. Like any S&C coach with power ever takes things from other people's work and applies it to their own niche and their own demographic. Right. Like that's all anyone does. Golf coaches are watching what other golf coaches are doing and going, I like that drill, I'm going to take that and use it for my clients. Well, yeah, but they got it from someone else. You got it from someone else. And that's kind of how things develop. Yeah. And it's just this whole element of like, we know there are no secrets because we talk about them all the fucking time. We post about them all the time on Instagram, on everything. Like there's no secrets here. And that's the thing that I found. That's the only thing that I would have said to you is like, you're an idiot because.
Yeah, then I literally but that was the first thing I said, right? I kind of like held my hands up and then we've frozen. I held my hands up and was just like, my bad. I've like apologies, massively apologies. Like I didn't realize it was going to escalate like that, or you took it that way. That's my bad. And then I was just like, you probably should have just text messaged me and just like left me a voice note and be like, dude, uncle, take it down. And I would have been fine. I would have been like, absolutely fine. I think one of my main reasonable qualities of people who know me, I'm reasonably nice. So I wouldn't have given a shit. So, and it's like kind of laid back and walk off a duck's back kind of thing. I was just like, all right, fuck me. And also, I guess I put it from a teaching perspective of I purposely ask people for like, will quite happily share stuff a lot because I'm just like, it's just being able to package the fucking knowledge up and crack on. And more people applying good work is good work. But truth, I won't be applying any of his fucking work anymore. So all done. I have to rename every single exercise I've ever done by him and just call it my own shit. So yeah, it was just a bit crazy in terms of, but the funny thing is I didn't get like, I thought I obviously on the post, I'm sure I got extremes of abuse, but I'm a smart boy. I didn't go look at the post. That like after about 2 seconds, I was like, this probably isn't a good thing to look at because I'm sure within his little echo chamber, which he obviously will create, that's going to be like, I am a massive bellend. Obviously, I got tagged a couple of times, but I did apologize on the post as well because there were like people were like at him. I was like, I literally just I was the first person to comment and was like, look, massively apologies. I've taken the post down. Didn't realize it was going to offend. deeply sorry. Love your work. It's more of an inspiration. Yeah, see you later. That's all I wrote, basically. And then people were like, you're a disgrace. Oh, inspiration, you copied it word for word. And then I wrote back and I was like, yeah, my bad. I did copy it word for word because I just literally copy and pasted it. Because I was like, but obviously in like the shock at the time, I was like, and then you kind of like hindsight, I should have said this. I probably should have said this. And I was like, fuck it, done. Blocked the post.
The irony is, it's like, all you had, if you'd have just said, for example, here's the session I did today. Yeah, here's a session I did today from the Olympus program by this guy.
Yeah,
would that probably wouldn't have been a problem? Do you know what I mean? And it's just, it's one of those things where, again, I know my clients post my workouts and don't tag me in them. Like, again, like, don't care too much, which is kind of, I suppose, what you've done. But I suppose it's it's one of those where it's just like,
we live in,
again, taken out of context, I suppose, a little bit. Like, it's I just feel like, don't then but he also posts videos of what his clients do in the gym, and I'm like, well, don't post that then, because it's the same thing, really.
Yeah, you
kind of want your work to be kind of put out there a little bit. I don't know, like I said, you're stupid because I know the personality, so that's why you're fucking stupid.
So and I guess I just presumed most coaches are like me, and like I want my coaches to like do that. So
never presume, Tom.
Unfortunately, well, we live and learn. I'll stay away from that side of the internet for about. But the funny thing is, because it's real, it'll be fucking gone within like about 4 or 5 days.
The thing is it's this whole, like, we've touched on. I'm not going to talk about it anymore. There's no point.
It was just the annoying thing. He immediately went to try to bash somebody instead of just like make a, I don't know, like a weird, I don't know, just do the decent thing instead. And spread a little bit of like, I don't know. I realize that we sometimes might bash a concept, but we very rarely bash a human. And so apart from Joel Seedman, no, it's fine.
I don't think he counts as a human, mate. I think he's a robot, isn't he? A cyborg.
He is a robot. Yeah. All right. Moving on. Draw the line. I'm at a new facility. If you want to come PT with me or have a little education day, crack on. Obviously, you can share my work. Couldn't give a shit. And I did. I'm gonna continue poking the bear. Like it's like what literally like one of my clients 2 seconds after was just like, well, is Jim Wendler gonna come around my house and beat me up for using the 5-3-1? I was like, probably. I was like, oh yeah, starting stretch, can't do 5x5. It's just like, fucking hell, can't hit for us. I got a tag. It's like, I've got to go apologize. Apologies, guys. Yeah. Oh dear, Daniel. Anyway, Whoop, Aura. I feel like we might get more of a discussion on this after I've worn it for a little bit more, because obviously I'm in the infancy of taking my data. So because Dan's already bored and he's yawning whilst I talk about this. I think it'll be interesting for people because obviously I think these are the two players within wearable tech and day-to-day things. And Dan is an Aura man, and I am now a Whoop boy.
Whoop boy. The thing I don't like about Whoop is this whole membership thing. How you have to pay.
It's a little bit annoying. I paid for a year, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of that.
No, but you can still pay for a membership on Aura, right? But it's like upgrades, like the stuff that you can see, I guess.
Yeah, I think so. I don't have it
because I did look into it, because I was like, I will check out Aura, because obviously I know quite a few people that have. I probably know more people that have Aura rings than I do people with Whoop bands.
For me, the Aura ring is just far easier to deal with than a band on my wrist. I'm just not a fan of the whole band on the wrist thing.
Yeah. But I can't get wearing rings. I'm not a big fan.
No, fair enough.
Yeah. So I was like, I feel like I get more annoyed wearing a ring than I would. I'll happily wear a watch, but I haven't worn a watch for a while. So
let me just have a look online. So Whoop one, the thing Whoop looks good. It does look good. And there's part of me that assumes it must be better because there must be more tech in it because it's bigger. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm sure that's not true, but it feels like it should be true.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm considering getting a new Oura ring anyway because they've upgraded a lot of the stuff on it.
Yeah.
Um,
One of the things as well, obviously, that like draw me to the Whoop, I knew they had bought out a velocity-based training company, and I thought they were going to integrate their tech into their 4.0, and they didn't. And I was like, oh, fuck's sake, I might have to wait for another one, 5 to come out before they integrate that tech. So I think it'd be because obviously the technology's there, but the accelerometer stuff that they put in terms of the VBT company, I can't remember who it is. I don't know more anyway. Yeah, it's quite chunky, so obviously they've just got to make it smaller to put it in, which would be really cool once they do it. But in terms of lifting, because I like my VBT, resonates with me. Yeah. Started talking to the guys from Metric as well. Should be fun. Yeah, be fun. Jacob. We can get him on, but he's in New Zealand. That would be an absolute brain fuck in terms of timings to have him on the show. So yeah, we'll integrate it a little bit. I've worn it probably about a day now, and we'll cover it a little
information.
We'll cover it a little bit more after maybe a few weeks, because yeah. Obviously, it's like it says like it takes like 4 days for all of like the strain scores and stuff like that to actually have an effect, and do whatever. But currently, I'm on light exertion that I've done today. I've done nothing pretty much. I've trained a couple of clients and had 3 or 4 calls. So yeah, and sat on my laptop most of the day. I took the dogs out for a walk, but about it. Because it's been raining most of the day, so yeah. But obviously, it said I didn't. It had been snowing exactly, which is crazy. All right, so we'll cover that in a later show. I feel like we can put a little bit more depth and detail into it. Don't you think, Dan?
I think so. Yeah. Give you some more accurate information as well.
Exactly. So I think people will enjoy that. All right, I'm going to send you this right now on your WhatsApp, mate, the Metro article, and let's see which ones Dan has had, whether you had a deprived childhood or a classic one. Also, what on my list of things when we were Wagon Wheels, Club Orange, obviously, because that's the only one you really had. They had like a blue one, didn't they? It was just normal, but I feel like everybody always got orange because maybe it was on sale most of the time. And then you had
some classics in there.
Penguin, and what else did I put in? Animal Biscuits. Which ones? Rank them, and what one would you choose? Animal Biscuits.
Animals were classic, weren't they?
They were good. Yeah,
they were so good. So hang on, let's just go through this big long list then. Let's go through this. Umbongo, that is a fucking classic.
So good.
I used to love Umbongo. I don't understand how that ever went out of business.
I know. Well, the only place I ever had it was after swimming. It was always in like the vending machine after swimming.
Yeah.
And I don't know whether that was a normal thing for a lot of people. If you went to the council swimming baths to have your swimming lessons, I always had Umbongo. Great. All they drink in the Congo, mate. All they drink.
There you go. Quenchy cups. The little rectangular, like, do you ever used to just bite the corner of the plastic and just drink out of the corner? Yeah.
Or you had those like straw. It was the little red straws, isn't it? And you had jab it, and you're like, yeah, they were good. Only at parties, I feel. They weren't lunchbox things, were they? They were parties.
No, they were just party things. Yeah.
Yeah. Squeeze Its. I do remember these. They weren't as frequent. I feel like
no, I didn't have as many of these, but I used to want them.
Yeah. I think I used to want them as well. I think my next door neighbours, who were a lot wealthier than me, had them. I was like,
yeah, that sounds about right, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Capri Suns. Oh my God.
Capri Sun. So good.
My dad used to freeze them for us. They used to be so good frozen.
Is that basically, that's like a large sun lolly, right?
Yeah, basically.
A jubbly. Yeah, that kind of thing. That's decent. To put that, my dad still has them. He'll have one like on the way to football. So funny. Capri Sun. plastic cheese. That's
Plastic
Dairy Lee slices.
cheese. Yeah, used to love it.
Used to
Billy
love
Bear
that.
ham. Didn't ever used to get Billy Bear ham.
Yes, I did. I
No,
loved
my
it.
parents. My parents were knew better for me than that. I think.
I think like my parents didn't get it often, but every now and again, I'd be like, yeah, let's get some Billy Bear. We'd only get like a couple of slices. Nobody's getting that amount. Like, fuck me.
No.
Who's walking up with like a full sausage worth, essentially? Yeah. That's,
oh my God, dairy Lunchables. Oh my God.
Oh.
You go on a school trip and you get one of these bad boys, you're the luckiest person in the world. That is so true. You used
That
to just
was
like
so true.
look on in envy of that kid who had Lunchables.
Yeah.
Never forget that. Oh,
How many
man.
how did you stack as well? Did you like mix it up? Did you kind of vary it? Or were you just simple like cracker, cheese, ham, cracker?
I think
Or
I was
did you
quite
go,
simple,
"Oh,
yeah.
of course you were. You're like, no, these are the rules.
It's funny, like, because we were saying this the other day, me and Laura were walking around the supermarket and Isabel wanted this like Vimto bottles and it was like blue raspberry, you know, bright blue Vimto. And like the initial reaction as a parent is like, oh no, you don't need that rubbish, whatever. But then like I turned and looked at Laura and I was like, yeah, but when we were kids, we want that. Do you know? And you kind of feel well, go on then, like have it, because it's like it's same with Lunchables and stuff like that. Like it's just like because you know that for them it's like it does mean a lot and it is quite a nice thing to have. Like I remember it, that feeling. Oh my God, Discos, incredible.
Discos were good, yeah.
And knickknacks. Knickknacks were better than Discos, putting it out there. Knickknacks were incredible. Ribbon spicy, best flavour.
They were both golden.
No,
Wonder,
ribbon saucy. Ribbon saucy, they were called.
Ribbon saucy. I think the nice and spicy ones are better than the ribbon saucy.
Ribbon saucy. And then they had the cheese ones, which were just like, they were okay, but
kind of not as good as Watsits, basically. Yeah, you're like, I'd rather have the cheese Watsits. Give me some like spicy knickknacks. Yeah,
which mate, I've had like all this stuff in here. I know. Like, all this stuff is my childhood.
Golden Wonder, beautiful. Then Baby Bells. I mean, they're still a thing. Got to be
still a thing, yeah. Cheese strings, remember cheese strings, yeah.
Cheese strings, definitely still a thing. And then those cheese strings tried to go into the Lunchables world as well. They had like snack attacks, like cheese strings, stuff like that. Like you had a wrap. It was never as good because a wrap you don't want like tomato ketchup as your sauce, your main sauce. So that's a little bit odd. Then we got Dairy Lee Lunchables. Yeah, Dairy Lee Lunchables next. You definitely not Dairy Lee Lunchables. Dairy Triangles. Triangles, Daniel. Yeah, definitely had them. Wasn't as much.
Never as fan of them. Never as fan of them as the other stuff. No, definitely not. But Froobs were so good. My mum used to freeze Froobs so that in the lunchbox it would have defrosted by the time and it'd keep everything cool.
What was your family just had like a freezing kind of thing?
Just froze stuff, yeah. Hey, like, Froobs were good frozen.
Put it in the freezer.
Froobs are good frozen. Don't slag off the Froobs frozen.
Petit Filou, lovely.
So good.
So good. But wasn't a Froob basically a Petit Filou anyway? Is that not the same thing?
Yeah, like same thing, but just in a tube, yeah.
Fromage frais yogurt, wasn't it? Wagon wheels, of course. I always found wagon wheels a little bit sickly.
Yeah, I like the jam ones, but not the plain ones.
Yeah, not the plain.
Not a fan of the plain ones.
Marshmallow biscuit and whatever. It's not fantastic. Winders.
Winders was so good.
they were. In hindsight, were they? Like
they were, but they were never 65% fruit, were they? There was never that much fruit in them.
Is that what it says? 60. Yeah, 65. Jesus, that's Does that make them one of your 5 a day? Probably not. But I felt like there were a lot of admin, weren't they? Like kind of
they were a lot of admin. Yeah, they were, but they're also kind of worth it. So
Penguins, classic, of course.
Penguins, good. Animal Biscuits, good. Club, amazing.
Club, straight away the orange one as well. Why was that the popular? I feel like not a lot of people like orange chocolate, but like Club Orange, like that's the thing, right? Or maybe like a Terry's, right? You don't have a Terry's.
No idea, mate. No idea.
Squares.
Rice Krispie Squares. Oh my God.
That's like a classic. Like I feel like that's classic. Like dieting people have a lot of Rice Krispie Squares.
Bodybuilders have them, don't they? Squares.
Yeah. They have a lot of that stuff. Are they low in calories?
No, it's just easy to consume carbs. That's why they have them.
Okay.
Come on, Tom.
Sorry, mate. Tracker bar. I mean, the Tracker bar is like you knew that kid's parents were like a bit hippie.
The tracker bar. Interesting story about the tracker bar. The tracker bar. My mum we used to talk about this all the time. I didn't like them because we had a kid at primary school who used to have about 2 of these a day in his lunchbox, and he used to smell of shit all the time. So it just made me assume that the tracker bar was part of the problem, because he used to have the unhealthiest lunch going. He had like lemon curd sandwiches, crisps, like tracker bars, like most parents there were trying to give their kids a bit of fruit and, some biscuits without too much chocolate on. His parents were like, nah, don't worry about him. And he was a bit overweight, and he used to just think of shit all the time. And that's why I don't like tracker bars. So there you go. Learn something new every day. Like, do you know what I did have, which I really liked, was the Cadbury's brunch bars. They were kind of similar, but they had a bit of raisin in and stuff. They were okay. Yeah. Tracker bars for me were like a no-go because Anthony Taylor used to have them, and I just couldn't deal with it.
I mean, you've been called out, Anthony Taylor. Do you still smell like shit? I'm sure.
He might well do. He may well do. But there you go. There you go. You learned something about my primary school. Chocolate dips, they were so good. The little pots with the chocolate. Great. Like, they're still a thing. The Nutella one's still going, isn't it?
Yeah, I would buy them now, definitely. Yeah. I would quite happily. I might do that. Because KP used to do nuts, right? They're just mainly nuts, but yeah. And mini rolls.
Not a fan. Not bothered about mini rolls.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, not huge on mini rolls.
It's interesting because literally this morning, one of my clients, who I think is my most bougiest client I have, in terms of like, I only have like 70% like dark chocolate, stuff like that. And she's got like 3 boys that are like, one's about Isabel's age and then descending down. And then they forced her to try a Cadbury's mini roll yesterday. And she was like, Tom, I really liked it. And I was like, yeah, it's not as shit, is it? It actually tastes quite. She was like, I had to have like 2 or 3. And I was like, good. Like, welcome to the real world, Sam. It's not all fucking, just fancy dark chocolate where, I only need 1 bit. It tastes like shit. That's why you only need 1 bit.
Yeah, you only have 1 bit of dark chocolate because you don't want any more.
Cadbury minerals, I'll eat the whole thing. Especially the ones like, if you get the M&S ones, the ones that are in the pots. They're like 2 for like £4 or something like that. You always buy two pots because you're like, I'll take some home.
Yeah, but you never get the mini rolls because there's so many better choices.
Oh, I would sometimes get the mini rolls. I would sometimes get the mini rolls. But what would you do there? You're like, I don't know. Would you get
chocolate
like
cornflake?
Chocolate cornflake? No.
Chocolate cornflake, shortbread.
Wow, that's the cheap option, mate. Like, Jesus Christ, we got very different tastes. I would go brownies, 100%.
Brownies,
and then I would probably go like flapjacks.
Flapjacks are good, yeah. I'm getting bored with that.
I would never go chocolate cornflakes. Yeah. I don't think that's a odd one. That's one step away from making your Easter nests. I think that's what you'll be doing soon, anyway.
Put mini eggs on them. That's fine.
Absolutely fine. All right, mate. So I think that will probably bring this show to a close based off that. I haven't got the dogs. When you listen to this will be next week, right? I won't have the dogs anymore. My dogs, they would have gone 12 days of pretending to be a dog dad. So Jasper's looking at me like what the fuck?
Yeah, all right. Don't blame him.
Any other business from you, Daniel?
Not from me. Nope.
Not from you. No, not from me. I'll be out there in the world, just pissing everybody off with my general way of doing things. So say hello if you want to. My goal for this month is try not to piss anybody off, just being me.
Wow, that could be hard, mate. You pissed me off
the
rest
of the time. But yeah. In all honesty, if you listen to this show and you actually want to come and do a session with me, I realize I'm reasonably full of clients, but yeah, there might be like ad hoc times that you want to come in and do some stuff. Then honestly, let me know. I'm more than happy to have a chat and do some things. I'm sure there's some stuff I can vaguely impart knowledge, or you want a random session that might be average. All good. Nice, guys. All right, thanks for listening. And we will catch you next week.
Catch you later.